Hello my dear friends, and welcome back to another Star Wars news update. Happy Andor Eve. We're now just hours away from episode 10 dropping, and this one, according to official Star Wars social media accounts, is going to be huge. Could this be the one where Andor finally breaks out of prison? Let's wait and see. But in today's video guys, we're not going to be speaking about Andor. Instead, we're focusing on The Mandalorian Season 3. But if you want to see my Andor episode 10 preview, go and check out yesterday's video. But as I say, today is for Mando, because in a newly published interview with the cast, a lot of new information was revealed, as well as a couple of rumours being confirmed. Let's dive straight into this. Giancarlo Esposito, who plays Moff Gideon, has always been a bastion of accidental Mandalorian leaks. He tends to spill the beans in interviews, and in the past he unveiled many filming details and plot points surrounding the show. Well, in this interview guys, he teased that the rumour by making Star Wars that Gideon's going to be sporting a Mandalorian helmet and armour is true. Giancarlo says that he thinks Gideon wants to be a Mandalorian, and then when Pedro Pascal jokingly asked him if that's what his problem with Din is, a more serious-faced Esposito teased that it is. He went on to say that Gideon is jealous of the Mandalorians because of their ideals, their beliefs, and quote, the fact that they're individuals with a dream. Now, given this information and the rumour that Gideon will be sporting Mandalorian armour, red and black super commando type Mandalorian armour, I think Esposito either gave away Gideon's backstory as a Mandalorian, or if he wasn't one, his future goal. Given that Gideon is an Imperial remnant with Mandalorian aspirations, I wonder if he knew Gar Saxon before he died. Is he someone who seeks to combine being a Mando with Imperial ideals? I think so. It's definitely interesting food for thought, but I absolutely believe that these comments from Giancarlo are deliberate and definitely not random. And so now we move on to Rick Famuyiwa, who, if you guys remember at Star Wars Celebration, was promoted to executive producer. He's going to be directing at least 2 episodes in the 3rd season, an enormous move and well-deserved one considering the man's talents. Well, in this interview he revealed something really huge, something which a lot of fans seem to have missed. After discussing the overall tone of the 3rd season, Rick says we'll come to find out the title of the show, The Mandalorian, doesn't only refer to Din Djarin. When he said this, he looked over at Katee Sackhoff, hinting at Bo-Katan's prominence and importance in the upcoming season. Now you might be wondering how this confirms rumours, because in one of Making Star Wars' original Season 3 leaks, they heard that by the end of the season, by the season finale, it's Bo-Katan who will rule Mandalore and not Din. It's also said she'll be sporting a mythosaur Mandalorian armour, and she's the one in the metaphorical legend, the prophecy spoken about by the armourer in the Book of Boba Fett. Now adding to this, Katee herself said, quote, Bo has some very clear ideas about who she believes to be a real Mandalorian. I think that is a really important place for her to start. She was raised one way, she thinks one very clear way, and her knowledge of that is being challenged. All of her experiences from the Clone Wars to the Mandalorian, including Star Wars Rebels, have shaped her in a way that she's not messing around anymore. Being handed the Darksaber by Sabine Wren, losing it to Moff Gideon, and watching Din win it from him outright, as well as so many Mandalorians believing she is to blame for the fall of their homeworld, has given her a lot to reflect on, especially when it comes to her strategy going forward. And what I love about Bo's story is we really do not know how things are going to play out. Based on Katee's words and the trailer, it seems as though Bo-Katan is going to be an antagonist, maybe not for the whole season, but at first. By the end, I think Mandalore is going to be somewhat reunited again, or whatever is left of it with the remaining clans, but I don't think the Darksaber is the only thing that matters in this picture, and previous comments from the actress seem ambiguous as to whether or not she's going to challenge Din for it. But Rick stating that the Mandalorian isn't just a reference to Din is something fans have theorized about since the show's start, and even more so after Grogu rejected the way of the Jedi in order to be a foundling and return to Mando. The show's title could be a reference to Grogu, Din Djarin, Bo-Katan, or alternatively, the Mandalorian people as a whole, kind of like how the term the Jedi refers to all of them. And so finally, Emily Swallow talks about her character, the Armourer. Now in case you missed it guys, in one of my news updates the other day, Emily responded to a few of my questions. While she didn't reveal too much, she did state she had much more screen time in Season 3 than in Season 1 when she first appeared. Of course she wasn't in the 2nd season, but she did appear in the Book of Boba Fett, and now in Season 3, she's going to play a massive role. In this interview she added that while she's been an observer until now of other characters' challenges, in the 3rd season she's going to face her own. Emily says the Armourer never shies away from a challenge. So some fascinating comments indeed made by the cast, and don't forget guys that The Mandalorian's final trailer, the 2nd and final trailer for Season 3, is rumoured to release on Christmas Day next month. This is the way. And so now, my dear Mandalorians, let's talk a little bit more about the Acolyte. In my news update from yesterday, I touched upon the fact that StarWars.com announced the Acolyte has begun production. We also had a cast announcement and our first behind-the-scenes look at the show. That picture that went viral within the fandom of Leslye Headland directing Amanda Stenberg, who plays an Acolyte called Aura, and Lee Jung-jae, who plays the lead male character in the show, but we don't know his character's name. That's filming right now here in the UK at Shinfield Studios in Reading. Now, it's been great to see Star Wars fans generally very excited about this project. Some fans are more skeptical, and that's fair enough, while others are just waiting to see when it drops, but personally I'm hopeful. If we're lucky, I think this might be another Andor, another Star Wars show that comes out of left field and surprises everyone with its quality. Now, I will admit, when it was first announced, I wasn't too excited. The High Republic era just really isn't my thing, but when the showrunner Leslye Headland said it was inspired by the Phantom Menace and the Legends novels that connect to it in the century leading up to the film, I was immediately on board. Suddenly, in my mind, it became a show with so much potential. It might expand our knowledge on the Sith Lords that came before Palpatine, like Tenebrous and Plagueis. We might also learn more about the Rule of Two, the goals of the Sith, and giving us a series that focuses on the dark side, as imagined by people like James Luceno and others who've written most of what we know about the dark side outside the Skywalker saga and the power they sought. Now, I've got a question for you guys. Do you think the Acolyte is the next place we're going to see Yoda? He and a few other Jedi Masters we know from the prequels were alive at this time, and Headland seems adamant to give us both sides of the Force, both the light and the dark. And speaking of our little green friend, along with Yaddle, Yarael Poof and Operan Sissis, Yoda's been explored in the High Republic novels and comics, so why not bring him into the Acolyte? The Acolyte is a mystery thriller that takes viewers into the galaxy of shadowy secrets and emerging dark-side powers in the final days of the High Republic. The synopsis says, a former Padawan reunites with a Jedi Master to investigate a series of crimes, but the forces they confront are more sinister than they ever anticipated. We also have the reveal of the executive producers, Kathleen Kennedy, Simon Emanuel, Jeff F. King, and Jason Micallef. Rain Roberts and Damian Anderson are producing, and the series showrunner Leslye Headland is directing the pilot, the first episode, the big premiere. Let me know in the comments down below if you're excited or not. But with that said, my dear friends, that brings us to the end of today's Star Wars news update. As I said, if you want my Andor episode 10 preview, go and check out the video I posted yesterday. If you enjoyed this video, guys, please be sure to give me a big fat thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, and if you want to support what I do here on the channel, you can either click the join button down below or become a patron, link is in the description. All support is so appreciated, but otherwise thank you so much for watching, guys. May the Force be with you always.